The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
This Christmas, for the first time, America's most exciting and legendary motion picture hero comes to the screen like you've never seen him before.
The Bat!
In an all-new, larger-than-life feature film. Now, the Dark Knight confronts his newest and most menacing villain.
Your angel of death awaits.
The Phantasm.
I want you.
And faces his greatest danger.
Can't be too careful with all those weirdos around.
A soaring new adventure. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. The animated movie. Coming for a Christmas you'll never forget.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host Jimbo, and joined once again by
The Crusading Kyle Zahner.
Kyle. Before we get started, I have a friend in the podcasting business that has asked us to play his new promo for his new podcast.
New promo
so
for his
I'm going to go ahead and throw
podcast.
that in right here. This is Shane Waters' new podcast.
Hit it.
What introduction did you have?
Oh, I just had a little, you know me,
Extra?
a little. Or are just people not enough sometimes? You never know. But our new podcast is called Mystery Incorporated. So I love a good theme and I love to run with a good theme. So I started off a little, hey, gang. You like that? This is the maiden voyage of our new podcast, Mystery Incorporated, the podcast where we will learn all about foul, rotten, and mysterious people, places, and things in our world. We are your host, my brother Shane Waters, the host of Foul Play, and I am Joshua Waters, the host of Rotten to the Core, and a queen with a fascination for the supernatural.
If you enjoy talking about murder, aliens, shady mysteries, legends, and of course, the occasional tea, then Mystery Inc. is the podcast for you. Together, Josh and I travel in our Mystery Machine Tesla, scouting out some of the world's best mysteries to share them here with you on Mystery Inc., which can be found wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, so there you are. Please go check out Shane Waters' new podcast. He's a good friend. He's also was with Hillbilly Horror Stories and as the first live show that I ever went and saw. So go ahead and go support him. He's a good guy.
Good pal, new podcast. Expect
Right.
good things.
So, Kyle, this is a movie that you picked, as people will be able to tell. This is a cartoon animation of Batman Mask of the Phantasm. But, Kyle, before we get started, I have a question.
Interesting.
But, Kyle, who is your favorite Batman villain of all time? One or two? I'll let you do one or two of them.
One or two of them. Okay. Favorite Batman villain of all time. Ah, gosh. You got me here. That's a good question. I think initially, probably my favorite actually right now is probably Harley Quinn. Right now, I think she's a great character. Originally, made for the Batman animated series originally in 1991, and has just blown up in a really great way, having her own series and really prevailing as a huge character. Originally just being Joker's little co-conspirator to now having her own shows, her own movies, and all that kind of cool stuff too. So probably Harley Quinn's probably my favorite Batman villain right now, even though she's more of a hero character at this point. And then secondly, probably would then go right back to, I feel like saying the Joker's cliche, so I'm going to actually say the Riddler.
I mean, we all know the Joker is the villain.
Yeah, it's probably the definitive
but I was
villain.
thinking more of
personal
favorites.
Yeah, I think, and then a close second actually would be the Riddler for me, because I think Edward Nygma is such a prevailing, pathetic character in so many ways. He's such a great coward. Compared to all the other Batman's actual villains, where he's just a lot more pathetic. He's a guy who, I think, the second everything goes wrong, he grabs the gun and shoots off and runs away and scurries about. I kind of love just how kind of utterly sad and pathetic he is compared to other Batman villains, who I feel like have some form of self-worth in their own mind.
Right.
Where Riddler, he's just you just suck.
I think if I'm going with overall, of course, the Joker. I mean, that's probably the number one villain of all time in any comic book series, DC, Marvel, whatever.
He's certainly up there.
But if I'm going with somebody I found a new love for, is probably the Penguin. More recently in some of the video games I've played, and just going back watching Batman Returns and stuff, it really holds a special place in my heart. But if I'm going for the animated series, I think the one that I like the most is Scarface and the Ventriloquist. I always thought that they were pretty funny. You know what I mean? Because the one guy's just so meek and everything, but he puts that ventriloquist on,
and then all of a sudden
it's
he's
just the mob boss. So Kyle, let's go ahead and jump right into it. By the way, Happy New Year! This is our first episode of the new year.
Yeah,
new Kyle. Same old Jimbo. Let's just
brand new Kyle, same old Jimbo. Exactly. Yeah. So 2023, and this movie actually came out on Christmas, so it's right around the same timetable. This movie would have been 29 years old. Already? Last December. Yeah. So,
you weren't even born yet, were you?
No, I was born in 1993. I was 2 months. I was 2.5 months old when this movie came out.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's how it's so easy for me to get the time now. 29 years. Yeah. So the 30-year anniversary would be this year, actually, next December. So that's pretty incredible there.
I was a sophomore in high school, I do believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see here. Batman: Mask of the Phantasm was released on December 25th of 1993. Director and writer, and those kind of listings are a little bit odd here, but I'm going to try and list them off as best I can. For the directors, we have Kevin Altier, Bob Kirkland, and Frank Perot, and Dan Reba. And then for the writers, we have Alan Burnett for the screenplay story adaptation, Paul Dina for the screenplay adaptation, Martin Pasca for the screenplay, Michael Reeves, and of course, the character was created by the legendary Bob Kane. Next up, we have the composer for the movie. We have Shirley Walker for the movie composed by, and I believe she also did a lot of work on the actual television show itself, of course. Next up here, we're going to the budget of the film. The budget was $6 million in 1993. Actually, a pretty impressive budget for an animated film. Adjusted for inflation, that'd be worth about $12.4 million today. Opening weekend, though, not a huge success, or for the long term either, not a huge success at only $1.2 million. Adjusted for inflation, that'd be about $2.4 today. And then gross worldwide, it actually only made $5.6 million, coming $400,000 short of its initial budget. Just for inflation, that'd be about $11.6 million today. So a bit of a flop. Maybe that's maybe a little too harsh because it made. But
I think it has a cult following now.
Oh yeah. I'm sure in the long term, especially merchandising and just building the Batman brand, of course, in the way it is now.
I remember the merchandise for this, and there was an action figure. I believe it was a 2-pack, and I think it had the Joker in it, and it had the Phantasm in it. But it had the Phantasm without his helmet on, so it was a spoiler of who the Phantasm was before the movie.
I think I had some of those too. Not an action figure, but it was just those plastic molds that can't really move at all. But right. I always tried to because I was a kid, and you just you break the plastic molding on this character. But I had the massive Phantasm with the helmet on and the hook hand, the scythe kind of hand thing. So I remember toys are so bad about spoiling movies. Even now, I remember there's stuff for like the new Transformers movie Rise of Beast, and like all those Transformer toys like are basically already revealed at Hasbro Inc. Also, it was like, oh, so I guess this character's in the film. I guess this character's
Star Wars is really bad about that stuff too.
Oh yeah, yeah. All of the big brands even now, even like Marvel toy stuff. I think like they've gone a long way to spoiling some character stuff. I think like Black Panther recently. Yeah. So,
let me ask you a question then.
Yeah.
Do you think social media has ruined the movie-going experience, or for as far as surprising and stuff like that? Because
no,
it is very hard to keep yourself spoiler-free of going, let's say the new Star Wars. We'll just throw that out there. It's very hard because, like, if Taco Bell or somebody like that has a cup or something that you need to get, you know, because you're a collector, and then maybe something that is written on that cup, or a picture on that cup, or even a trailer. Let's say you're trying to say spoiler free, but you just watch a TV and a commercial pops on real quick, and you're like, oh, you know what I mean?
So I'm going to give a very strong no on that. I completely agree with you that all of those things they suck. I hate them too, but none of that is really different than it was even 40 or 30 years ago or 20 years ago. Where
yeah, it is, because I don't
marketing spoils stuff all the way back then too.
But I have it at the palm of my hand now.
And you always did originally too. Like even
you didn't.
Yeah. Even like Terminator 2 TV ads revealed.
I'm sorry.
Like Terminator was,
you were born
around
with a cell phone in your hand. Those of us that are of older generations, we didn't have.
But I still watch TV commercials, Jimbo. You have it in the palm of your hand. Oh, it's so different from.
Oh yeah, because now you're not on your phone while you were watching commercials.
Exactly. It's marginal at best. But regardless, like, movies have been spoiling their plots and trailers since time immemorial. And at the same time, too, like toys like that too. Toys you can go to a store, toys you can get reported in magazines, stuff like that too. All say the exact same thing of spoiling plots and like ruining movies to those degrees at all. I think what makes a lot of movies and TV shows worse is the idea of movie theaters still trying to have their overall secrecy and like trying to surprise you. That has hurt a lot of TV shows and movies, like especially like Game of Thrones, when like people find out what the twists are for the next season, all of a sudden they scramble and write totally different scenes or like twists that actually have no lead up following them, because that's the only way they can surprise their audience. And it's like it does a disservice to the stories being told when it doesn't make sense leading up to them. Like, oh no, now we have this random character saving the day because it was the only character that wasn't in 90% of the fan predictions. And I was like, oh, that's so dumb. Why would you do that? So like for me, I think like that's the aspect that's hurt films and televisions, is the internet, of them trying to fight the internet from revealing all these leaks. Because I think you can still be a responsible consumer yourself. Like, if you're trying to find all those answers, of course you could find those answers. You could do it back then, and you can do it now. You can find a ton of those answers immediately for the next films leading up. Like, there was stuff like about Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame that you could get revealed in this plot stuff years before the movie even came out. And you could figure those things out. But most consumers just choose not to do that because they know to. They don't want to be spoiled with stuff either. So they wait for the movie to come out, and that's fine. So I think like it's one of those things where just like, if anything, it's just a new option for consumers. Like, for the people that want to know, they can dig in and find out. Not a big deal. And I think it's kind of dumb if filmmakers think they are responsible to make sure consumers can't ever find out, because it's like people want to know. They want to know. They'll find out one way or another, and you need to just kind of embrace that fact rather than block it. That's the problem with film and television today. One of the problems. So no, I think internet's fine. To answer your question, I disagree with you on everything. Jumbo, it's my podcast.
Yeah, but you're wrong. But that's okay, Kyle.
We disagree. Move on to the topics there. Gosh, where was I?
We were talking about the budget and the flop.
Budget and the flop. Yeah. So, I remember, so that you're right, the toy did spoil the movie there a little bit. Yeah, but as it goes, that happens. Moving on here, I'm going to go to the plot summary of the film. Batman, the costume crime fighter who prowls the night skies in Gotham City, soon finds there's another vigilante in town knocking off prominent mob figures. Despite the scythe-like blade for a hand, a mechanical voice, and a cloud of smoke that follows the figure wherever it goes, the police and outraged officials mistake the homicidal crusader for Batman himself and demand the city's longtime hero be brought to justice.
Yeah, that's something that the police should have known. Batman doesn't kill.
Yeah.
This guy was killing.
Well, Commissioner Gordon absolutely knows. Like, It's definitely not Batman.
Like,
you guys are all idiots.
It's not him.
I agree. It's another figure in black killing criminals. That's not Batman. Like, you just put.
Well, let's see. They've mistaken him for this. They've mistaken, what was it, Man-Bat for Batman 2? Exactly. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's great. Like, general public having misinterpretation, like, that's the joke they're making, but, like, yeah, whatever. Let me get back to my spot here. Meanwhile, Andrea Beaumont returns to town. She is the lost love of Bruce Wayne, the billionaire playboy who is Batman's alter ego, and was an integral part of Wayne's decision 10 years earlier to don the cape and cowl. Now she is back in his life and is no less disrupted than the return of his old arch enemy, the Joker, who has a stake in seeing the annihilation of his new vigilante, whoever it proves to be. Ooh, I wonder what will happen.
Wonder who it is.
Yeah. Okay. Going on to some of the technical details of the film here. This is a 76-minute film, so a very short animated film overall. Not short for animated films. Like most animated films go for like maybe 90 minutes or like 85 minutes around there. So like a pretty average, but overall a short film. Color film. Aspect ratio was 1.33 for a television ratio, but it did have a theatrical ratio in the theaters for a 1.85 ratio for the film release. And that is the film you'll most likely see even on YouTube or modern televisions. You'll see the 1.85 release. It looks good. Moving on here, we have I believe we have only one reward nomination here, and it was for Warner Brothers Animations. And it did just, Warner Brothers Studios. I don't actually have the award listed off here in the print. Oh, unfortunate. Okay, so it had one nomination for animation reward.
I think I got it in my notes.
Mm-hmm. We'll find it out here in a moment. Yeah. Next up here, we have the cast. We have the legendary Kevin Conroy voicing the voice of Batman.
R.I.P. Just recently died late last year.
Last November 10th, at the age of 66. He will be missed entirely. He had probably... many respects, the definitive Batman portrayal for many years, since 1991 to now. I believe his last role voicing Batman will actually appear in the upcoming Arcane Studios Suicide Squad video game. So that'll be interesting to see there. All the wishes to any family members and anyone that cared about him in his life, and all the fans, of course. It was a terrible loss.
Did you ever get to meet him at a convention?
No, unfortunately, I did not.
I did not either, man. I wish I would have.
Yeah. But by all accounts, he made the most of his life. There's some terrific stuff. I'm gonna make sure I'll take a note and make sure I have the day this gets posted to post some great videos about his life and his journey. And he went through a tremendous amount of struggle early on in his life and throughout. Accomplish everything he did, and really great story. But Kevin Conroy, there's basically no other roles to really note. He just was Batman for 30 years. There's like a few like one-off roles on like TV shows or small recurring characters for like 6 seasons or like 6 episodes on one show or something like that. But Batman is the end-all be-all at the end of the day, and absolutely well-deserved. So there we go there. So Batman, we think like The Killing Joke and all the other movies, and of course the animated series from 1991 to 96, I believe it was, the original years. Yeah. So moving on, though, we're going to have Dana Delaney playing Andrea Beaumont. Dana Delaney was also in the show China Beach from 1988 to 1991, and is currently on the show Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone from 2022.
Have you watched any of that?
My dad's a huge fan of it. I haven't watched it myself, but my dad's a huge fan of it, so he's been watching a lot of that, and I've been catching a little bit of like snippets here and there whenever I go see him, and so it looks fun. Looks fun. I believe it's about a mobster who basically goes to Canada, I believe it is. Well, where Tulsa is. Arizona? Where's Tulsa at? Jimbo,
Oklahoma.
It's Oklahoma. Tulsa, Oklahoma.
This is, kids, this is why you stay at school.
Learn geography, kids. I don't know where Tulsa is.
Tulsa, United Kingdom.
Tulsa, United Kingdom, yeah. Tulsa, Australia. The land down under.
No.
Yeah. Sorry to our Oklahoma listeners. All 2 of you. Tulsa King, though, looks like a good show. I might have to check it out sometime. I think it's on Paramount Plus now. Next up, we have Hart Bochner playing the character Arthur Reeves. Hart Bochner was also in the films Die Hard in 1988 and Rich and Famous in 1981. Yeah, speaking of other Christmas movies, Die Hard right there. Yeah, also.
You had to go ahead and throw that in there,
exactly.
didn't you?
Couldn't resist. Next up, we have Stacy Keach playing the character of Phantasm and Carl Beaumont. as the voice of Stacy Keach Jr. Yeah. As Stacy Keach Jr. So his father was Stacy Keach, and he's Stacy Keach Jr. in the credits. Stacy Keach was also in the films Nebraska in 2013, and he was also in American History X in 1998. Next up, we have Abe Vigato playing the character of Salvatore Valestra. Abe Vigato was also in the film The Godfather in 1972. So definitely a typecast. I was like, I am a gangster role player. I'm the actor you call when you want a gangster film and for voice work. Next up, we have Dick Miller playing the character of Chucky Soul. Dick Miller was also in the film The Terminator in 1984 of James Cameron fame. Next up, we have John P. Ryan playing the character of Buzz Bronski. John P. Ryan was also in the film Runaway Train in 1985. Then we have Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. playing the character of Alfred. Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. was also in the film Wait Until Dark in 1967. Oh, worth noting too, a lot of the characters here are going to play characters who were recurring characters on the Batman animated series, of course, too. This is just this movie is an extension of that animated show in its entirety, basically like that. Any of those characters playing, Alfred or Batman, same characters playing in the show. Just bringing it up there. So next up we have Bob Hastings playing Commissioner Gordon. Bob Hastings is also in the film The Poseidon Adventure in 1972 and the film Shadow Force. Next up, we have Robert Costanza playing character of Detective Bullock. Robert Costanza was also in the film Total Recall in 1990 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not a tumor. That's not the movie that was good. Total Recall. What's one of the quotes of Total Recall? Got one, Jimbo? I can't remember.
All I remember about Total Recall is when he goes into that bar or whatever, and there's that alien with the three breasts.
Yeah,
I was like, that's the only thing I remember.
I was thinking like the old,
and then where he pulls the thing out of his nose. Yeah, it looks like a big old booger.
For me, it's like when he got an old lady disguise and like his head came up, and then he threw the old lady's head disguise, and it blew up like a bomb. Total Recall is a crazy movie.
We might have to cover that.
Yeah. Next up, we have the legendary Mark Hamill playing the voice of the Joker. Mark Hamill here is also like giving arguably one of the most definitive performances of the Joker entirely as well. Honestly, you kind of like it's kind of surprising how many people have the role of playing the Joker or playing Batman right now. It's kind of like you look at things like the UK or Europe, like how many characters who played James Bond. For America right now, it feels like we have that kind of role for Batman and Joker in many respects, where it's like, like every decade you're going to see a new actor playing Batman and Joker, and the question of who they are. And Mark Hamill has one of the most definitive performances of Joker, in my opinion. And of course, Mark Hamill also easily most well known for playing Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars series of movies. And these are probably his two most iconic roles: voicing the Joker, playing Luke Skywalker. Good for him. Yeah. Next up, we have Arlene Sorkin playing Ms. Bambi. Arlene Sorkin was also in the film Days of Our Lives in 1965. And that is going to finish up our casting. We had a few characters playing, but they were playing just miscellaneous voices throughout the film. So I'm not going to read those in their credits. But that finishes out the credits for Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Jimbo, what kind of cool trivia facts do you have?
Well, before you get started, I think that there's something in this movie that's not often explored enough in the Batman universe, and that is the love interest of Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that stood out when I watched this movie, is that it actually goes deep into Bruce Wayne's past of the love interest with, what was her name? I can't think of her name.
Andrea Beaumont.
Yeah, of Andrea. So let's go ahead and talk about a little bit about this. The dummy corporations O'Neill Funding Corp. and Adams Tool and Die shown on Batman's computer screen are references to Denny O'Neill and Neil Adams, respective writer and artist for Batman comics circa 1969. Mm-hmm. Also on the computer screen are the names Puckett and Peterson. This is a reference to Kelly Puckett and Scott D. Peterson, writer and editor of comic books based on the Batman the Animated Series, Batman the animated series, including the comics adaptations of both this movie and Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero.
Yeah, this movie is filled with loving tributes to all the creators and artists who.
Many of the items featured at the Gotham's World Fair were inspired from items featured at the famous 1939 New York World's Fair. The rocket and plane centerpiece echo New York's famous Trilon and Perisphere exhibit. When the Joker shoots the robots in the World's Fair, the sound of them winding down is the sound of the Millennium Falcon winding down from Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, which also starred Mark Hamill.
Oh, cool.
The end Credits song I Never Even Told You is a rare singing performance by Tia Carrera.
Tia Carrera.
Oh, got it
yeah.
right, Kyle.
Yeah.
Famous if you remember in Wayne's World.
Yep. Tia Carrera in Wayne's World and a few
She's
other
in some
movies.
of the movies, yeah.
Yeah.
Despite the title, the Phantasm is never referred to by name in this movie.
Yeah. Well, Phantasm, just another name for ghost, basically, like
Right.
that, so it's not even real of a name, really.
The opening theme contains an in-joke. The choral chanting consists of the names of orchestras Lolita Ritmanis, Michael McCustian, and Peter Tomaszek, among others, sung backwards. So they did a little in-joke there.
Oh, Tia Carrera, also in True Lies in 1994.
Oh, yeah.
And Lilo and Stitch in 2002. Cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Who'd she play?
I don't know. Just snap back. I don't know.
This is the first comic book film nominated for an Annie Award for Best Animated Feature, losing to what, Kyle?
Who'd you lose to? I don't know.
The Lion King.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Elton John.
It wasn't until Disney's Big Hero 6 that another was nominated, and Sony's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse that won.
Spider-Verse deserved it.
Yeah. The first film set in the DC animated universe.
Oh yeah, for the it's weird to think like man, the DC animated universe like
Yeah, they're so good. I wish they could take that energy and storytelling and put it to the big screen, but they just can't match Marvel. But I want it so bad because I'm a DC fan.
As much as I wouldn't want to put my hand in that mess at all, but from everything I've heard, that does seem to be exactly what James Gunn's intention appears to be. To I'm going to just take what the DCAU did and make it into films that actually work now.
Right.
And they're getting a lot of Snyder fans are pushing back on that, I guess.
Henry Cavill will always be my Superman after Christopher Reeve. I think he was perfect.
I want more great DC films in the future. That's
Right.
that's what I'll say.
Dana Delaney's voice performance in this film impressed the filmmakers, leading to her casting as Lois Lane in Superman, the animated series. Mm-hmm. Dana Delaney also delivers the line, "He laughs," exactly as she did in Tombstone, the movie.
No.
Citizen Kane served as an influence for the flashbacks, a story about loss and the passage of time.
Yeah, definitely a lot of those vibes in there. Just what tribute like old cinema it has going on too in so many cool ways.
From start to finish, production only took 8 months, which is impressive.
That is impressive. For the workflow of doing animated work, like it takes it's cheap, but it takes a long time. It's very tedious.
And Batman Begins, Bruce Wayne uses a similar ski mask outfit used in this film before using a batsuit. It is unknown if this is an homage by the filmmakers to...
I kind of got the vibe from the Christopher Nolan Batman Begins film. They're kind of paying a tribute to that as well, and a little bit of Massive Phantasm as well. Yeah.
A Blu-ray version of this film was not available until 24 years after its release.
Yeah, I want to say even the latest version was released like in 2018 now. I think there's
That's crazy.
Yeah.
While the film was being written, Paul Dini, who was handling many of the Joker scenes, was attacked and beaten by 2 muggers on Lapeer Drive and had to undergo reconstructive surgery on his skull. He spent several months recuperating from the attack physically and emotionally. As a result, he almost backed out of the film and even considered giving up working on Batman altogether before he returned to work on the script. He later wrote a graphic novel on his experience recovering titled Dark Knight, A True Batman Story.
Oh, jeez. That's terrible. Yeah, I can certainly imagine just Batman, hitting way too close to come if he had a violent crime committed on you.
Mark Hamill went to a screening at a local theater during the film's theatrical release. With only a few people in attendance, he asked them to sit with him before the film started. In true Mark Hamill fashion. Hey, come on down. I wonder if he did it in the Joker voice.
That's what I imagine, how horrifying it would be to sit in a theater and you just hear Joker's real life and the real life laugh in the theater. Oh my god.
What would you do?
If I had no idea Mark Hamill was in the audience and I just heard that laugh, I would be horrified.
But what would you do if Mark Hamill said, Kyle,
if I walked into a theater and just saw Mark Hamill,
come sit with me, would you go sit with him?
I'd probably freeze.
Would you go sit with him?
Totally, absolutely. I'd do whatever
he wouldn't even be paying attention to the movie. I'm sitting next to Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. I would probably sit down and not make a noise and just pure shock like a statue and just I'm sitting next to Mark Hamill right now. What is happening in my life? Oh my god. Just pure stone face. And then Mark Hamill would feel very awkward the whole time, like this kid's an idiot.
Never mind, kid. Go back to what you were. This is Robert Pattinson's favorite Batman film.
He's right.
The truck chase scene during Bruce's first vigilantism is a reference to Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. The trucks are the same design, and Bruce falls onto the truck's grill just as Indy did.
Mm-hmm. And like Indiana Jones is also the tribute to those old films of the era, which this film was also an exact same tribute to those films.
This was Kevin Conroy's personal favorite Batman film, both of his own work and in general.
Mm-hmm. I would say it's probably the most original work that he had covering in the Batman film, because like this film, like Mask of Phantasm, is like, it doesn't evoke the same other comic book movies he was doing at the time. It's like everyone like, oh, he fights Mr. Freeze, or he does like they're kind of like, or the Killing Joke, where he does like another crazy story based off of an iconic comic book. This one feels unique to himself. Like, this is a Batman animated film first and foremost of itself. It stands alone.
Reeves confesses to Batman that he sold Beaumont out to the mob. This is the second time a character played by Hart Bochner sold out a fellow character, having it ultimately backfiring on him. The first time was Die Hard, 1988, not a Christmas movie, when his character Ellis tries to sell out John McClane to the terrorist. He failed efforts ultimately get him killed.
Mm-hmm. Iconic scene as well.
Andrea took self-defense classes and could take Bruce Wayne on. Sharp eyes will notice the Phantasm does the same throw on Batman that she did on Bruce Wayne, which I noticed that too. So, spoiler alert, Andrea is the Phantasm in this movie, as spoiled by the toy line.
Yeah.
Kyle?
Well, it's spoiled by the toy line, yeah.
What do you think of Batman, Mask of the Phantasm?
I think it's an incredible film. Just gotta go back to that Andrea Bailey scene. Like, it's like, it's no secret in the film. Like, of course it's Andrea. I think the core of the film is Bruce Wayne and Batman's willingness to admit it, because it's so obvious from the start. Like, Batman clearly knows, but he just can't possibly bring himself to admit to, like, I know it's the girl I love. I think that's kind of the harsh point. And I feel like this is, like, probably gosh, I mean, there's so many debates about the depictions of Batman from different actors and who did it better, who did it worse. I think Kevin Conroy's performance and the roles he was given here go further than anyone else of actually treating Bruce Wayne and Batman as inseparable real characters with real emotions and real pathos to like their performance. And this film especially just sets of like who is Batman as a person, what are his emotional needs, and how he needs to kind of address those kind of things. And like, this is his, being cursed, treating his role as Batman as a burden from his, promise to his family. He can't escape that guilt that it's his fault that his parents, were killed, in a really kind of a heart-wrenching way. And I feel like this film captures it so well. So this is one of the most definitive Batman movies ever made. I think like Batman the Animated Series is also like the definitive Batman Animated Series. It'll probably be the definitive depiction of Batman overall. Like, everyone else is like if you're playing a new Batman, you're playing like Bruce Wayne the animated, like Batman the Animated Series, but something's different. That's when it's the standard you compare to. It's like when you make an open world game and everyone says it's like GTA, but you're doing a Batman role. It's like Batman Animated Series, but and that's what makes it different. So like, I think this film is kind of like a 9 out of 10. It's perfect Batman. It's if you don't know anything else, if you want to understand who Batman is, you go watch the animated series, you go watch this film. You know what Batman is, and even outside of comic books, like this is just it. It's the easiest way to get up there in the mindset of that character. So this film is, fantastic to me. I love it. Jimbo, how do you feel about Batman?
Yeah, it was. Obviously, this is back when I was a little bit older, but I still used to watch this sometimes before school. Sometimes they come on at 4:30 after school. It's when you're a kid, that's all you craved is what, like Batman the 66 TV show was one of my favorites growing up. Mm-hmm. So when something new came along and it was Batman, then obviously I was excited about it, and it even introduced some new characters to the Batman universe that I had not known about. I love Batman the Animated Series. I think this is a great movie to tie in. The one thing I wish they wouldn't have done is I wish they wouldn't have tied the Joker into this movie. I wish it would have been more of the Phantasm than it was, because it's kind of a Joker-centric movie towards the end. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I get why they did it when you look at the story, because
I will say Joker was not needed for this story. I like that he was there, but he was not needed for your story.
Right,
absolutely
exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And technically, at the end of this movie, you think the Joker's dead. Mm-hmm. You thought they killed the Joker off in this movie, which later on there's some other things that came out, like Epilogue or something, I think was the name of it, that I saw. I don't know if it was a story or an episode where she actually took Joker down to the sewers, and she ended up basically beating him to the point of death, and she decided that even killing the Joker is not going to bring back my father, basically, so he survived. But
yeah, and I would say, like, as much as I agree with you, I don't think he's needed for the story, but I do think Joker plays his role perfectly in this film of being he's assaulted that he's not the main character almost in this,
right.
And that's almost his plot point, is that like he's so annoyed that the Phantasm has taken Batman's attention away from him that he has to reintroduce himself basically like that, and like, well, I got to go kill the Phantasm then because I need Batman to be obsessed with me again,
right.
In a way that is so true to his character and the constant need for validation and being to be Batman's adversary is always his main adversary. Joker needs that in his life, and that being the plot point of his character in the movie makes perfect sense. So,
right.
Although I agree, like, unneeded presence, but his presence entirely makes sense for who his character is.
Right. As far as an animated film, this was the first one that kicked off DC's animated films, which are fantastic. Mm-hmm. So I'd probably have to give this a strong 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Definitely higher up there for an animated cartoon. If people don't like animated cartoons, then probably skip out on this one. But if you're a Batman fan, definitely give this a shot. The story flows, and the story is pretty deep.
Yeah.
Because basically, Andrea's dad is tied into the mob, who's tied into the Joker, who's tied into Batman. It's all well connected.
Yeah.
And it keeps you guessing till the end. The only one that knew was Commissioner Gordon. That was
from
not
the start,
Batman.
he knew what was going on.
So. There you have it. That is our episode on The Mask of the Phantasm. Stay tuned for next week when I pick the movie. We will be doing the great 80s comedy Adventures in Babysitting.
Oh yeah, Adventures in Babysitting. That'd be great. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I like that. We had good energy in that episode.
Yeah. Hence, we recorded that right before this one because Kyle didn't have his notes done. Yeah. So, stay tuned for that. It's a really funny. You'll find out what the Chicago Bears jockstraps had for it,
and how they originally in the script,
and how Thor is in that movie too. So, with that being said, I think this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap.
And cut.